lots of open source programs is you still have to go find a vendor to help you get it working at your institution or in your in your place. I mean, one of the possibilities is that at UCSF, OASIS could install one of these, and then you could go to the OASIS people for help with this. I'm not sure if that's the right direction to go. And then we're not going to discuss them here, but FaceForward and Oracle Clinical are some very expensive web-based data collection platforms that are used primarily by pharmaceutical companies when they're doing RCTs to get drugs approved. So again, the advantages of web-based we've talked about, and the disadvantages are that the forms aren't quite as customizable as, say, an Access form is. You have more limited data structures, and of course it requires an internet connection. In terms of being hosted, the great thing about being hosted is that you're only relying on your computer guys, your help desk, to make sure you've got an internet connection, and that's it. After that, you don't have to worry about them giving you a remote desktop access. You don't have to worry about any kind of privileges or permissions beyond that. I can't help but allow a little bit of my bitterness towards system administrators and help desks to leak out during a talk like this. Disadvantages of being hosted are the ones that Maurice already anticipated, which is patient confidentiality, HIPAA issues, and CFR 21 Part 11, electronic record keeping issues. Except for SurveyMonkey, the web-based data collection systems claim to handle these issues, the CFR 21 issues, as well as the HIPAA issues. SurveyMonkey can handle the HIPAA issues, as can Access databases, but they're not CFR 21 Part 11 compliant, so we talked about keeping a paper backup. All right, so now we're going to look at SurveyMonkey. And I'm going to try to do this without cheating in the real world. Okay, so I'm going to go to SurveyMonkey. There are other online survey, hosted survey tools that you can use. Okay, I don't remember. One has a Z in it. It's like, I can't remember now. All right, I'm going to go to SurveyMonkey. Okay, and then, so all I needed was an internet connection here. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, and then I go to my surveys, and I have a data collection form for the infant jaundice study already developed. And I can go to collect responses and click here. And finally, we're at the stage where I can add a new response. So does somebody have Helen's data up there? You can check me on it. I think her subject ID is 2322. And the exam ID for that particular one is 2, I think. And the examiner is Elders. And the child's name I know is Helen. And Helen's date of birth is 1/6/2005. Oh, well, got to get that right. Okay. And then Helen is not Hispanic. She is Asian. And the date of the exam is 1/29. Oops. 2. I mean, I know that it's not fun watching me do this, but this is what you're going to be doing when you're entering data on your study, or what your RA is going to be doing, or what the medical student that you trick into helping you with this. And, but somebody's going to be doing this, right? She weighs, what, 18.3 kilograms? Oh, thank you. And her height is 109 centimeters, and her IQ was 104. Is that right? What was it? 94. Ooh. A little below average for old Helen there, huh? Okay. So now I'm done entering that data. Okay, it didn't like something. 101, 29, 2010. That looks right. What do you suppose is wrong with that? Okay, well.
Does the other date have to be in the same?
Yes.
It's
Ah.
the examiner ID, not the examiner's name. On the third field,
Oh.
it's the examiner ID.
What is her ID? 3? You think that was it? This is a very good real-life example that I'm having trouble with this. But, I did it like 3 times last night, and I didn't have any trouble with it last night. But now this is a different question. You see this little bar here? Okay. So that's just an internet issue, right? That's not SurveyMonkey's fault. That's my internet connection's fault. But I really did want to go back to, let me see if okay, so I can go back to this. One of the problems is in SurveyMonkey, these are all the records that I've entered. Okay, you can't really see who the records are on. And in fact, if I look at one of these other responses, I bet it's also the same response. It's on Helen. See, I knew I was going to have trouble because I've had trouble with this internet connection before. And it was brave for me to try this. Because it's going to be awful difficult to demo question with a bad internet connection. Let me see. So, smoke them if you got them, and we'll just sit here for a second. I did this from home last night. I had no problems. What I'll do, I guess, is maybe launch QuestGen from this computer, and then and project it up there, and then maybe that will solve the problem. So I'll just tell you that one of the problems with SurveyMonkey is that it you don't get a good sort of master list of all the forms you've filled out, and you have to go into the responses to see what forms you've filled out. Another problem is that it's really for market research, although they do say they can handle HIPAA data. Yes?
What about using, no, this isn't an online system, but what about using Adobe Acrobat Forms?
Oh, that's a good system too. You can do that, yeah. And there are good studies that have used Adobe Acrobat Forms in order to collect their data. I can't demo everything, but there are some good studies up in that are being done right here at UCSF that use Adobe Forms. Somebody else had a question?
I was just going to ask, the SurveyMonkey also, I've heard this, I just want to see what you think. That does it have the option, does it ensure confidentiality by not letting the surveyor, that is us, see who responded, see the ISP addresses of people who responded to a survey? Because, for example, I was designing this.
No, they would claim that that's a feature.
Yeah.
That's good, that you can see where people responded from. SurveyMonkey's not really for health research.
You shouldn't be able to see where they responded.
Well, but they say it's good that you're able to see where you SurveyMonkey. The people at SurveyMonkey would say it's good that you can see where they responded from.
Right, but from a CHR perspective, it's bad because then it's not a